sometimes it's also like at a specific phase, like at this phase in life, you know, you might want to accelerate some progress, or you want to get unstuck, or you want to get ahead of the fact that inflation is terrible right now, you know, and so I think that, you know, us talking about how our money isn't stretching the way we want it to, and some ways to help improve that is just timely in our economic times right now.
And I don't think it doesn't matter what your political view or affiliation is. I think everybody is feeling the squeeze right now.
We were trying to plan vacations yesterday.
I was just about to bring that up, but
yeah.
You go ahead.
Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Erica Young, and we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it.
The For Better and Worth podcast is sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union, a not-for-profit credit union that helps you take control of your financial future.
As a member of American Heritage, you're an owner. You'll be charged fewer fees, earn more in the form of dividends on your account, and have access to lower rates on loans.
Whether your goal is to save for a down payment on a home, create an emergency fund, or build for the retirement you've always dreamed of, American Heritage has the products, resources, and solutions you need.
After all, American Heritage is for the people, not for profit. So to learn more, go to ahcu.co/for better and worth. Hey babe, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yes. So what are we talking about today, babe?
You know, it's interesting because we have adult children now. And with that, they get off on their own. They're starting to figure out, like with their salaries and starting jobs, you know, they got to figure out how to make things work. Mm-hmm. And sometimes there are people who are listening and you may be making $120,000. But when you go look at your bank account, you got like $3 in your bank account. And you like, hold on. My W-2 said I made such and such. Or I look at my paychecks and they say one thing, but I look at my bank account and it says something totally different. And that could be pretty discouraging for some people, but we're here to give you hope.
Yes. And I think what we're also getting at is it's amazing how our money can get through our hands, how quickly it goes. And then when you look in your bank account, you're like, wait a minute, I don't even know where my money went.
Yeah. I think you got to let that sit in, like let it sink in for just a second. Like, you know, I remember when we, you know, first hit making six figures and we were like, I was like, man, we made $100,000. And I was like, but dang, it seems like that money is gone.
Mm-hmm. And that was, you know, when you're in debt or you got young kids, you paying for childcare, you are trying to, like we were givers early on, like you think, oh, these numbers are big, but our expenses are big too.
Yeah. Just making more doesn't mean that you keep more. Mm-hmm. And I think some people might be embarrassed by that, thinking like, I'm supposed to be further ahead than I am. But, you know, life has a way of dealing some blows. And you've got to figure out how to roll with the punches until you get things in line.
Yeah. And sometimes it's also like at a specific phase, like at this phase in life, you know, you might want to accelerate some progress, or you want to get unstuck, or you want to get ahead of the fact that inflation is terrible right now, you know, and so I think that, you know, us talking about how our money isn't stretching the way we want it to, and some ways to help improve that is just timely in our economic times right now.
And I don't think it doesn't matter what your political view or affiliation is. I think everybody is feeling the squeeze right now.
Yes.
You know,
we were trying to plan vacations yesterday.
I was just about to bring that up, but
yeah,
you go ahead.
it's stressing me out how expensive stuff is. Like you don't want to be stressed planning a vacation where you're supposed to relax.
Right.
And I was like, something about this is off. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we almost said forget it because I was like, man, these plane tickets are outrageous.
Yes. And going even just across the country is expensive. Flights that we used to be able to pay $200, even $300 for is double right now.
Even $400. I'm gonna stretch it a little bit. I'm like, why is this stuff so high?
It's crazy.
But I think, we have to really dig in and figure out sometimes where the money is going. Because where the money is going, sometimes you look back and it's happened so fast that, you haven't had a chance to process it.
Yeah.
So
our example is $120K and you basically have a couple bucks in the bank.
yeah.
And $120,000 represents about the top third of income earners.
And
for a
that is
household.
not bad. That is a good spot to be in.
Yes. So just imagine like if 70% of Americans make less than you, how are they feeling? If you feel like your six figures not going that far.
Right. If you got $2 in the bank and you're in the top 30%, it's like, oh man, the other 70% must be in shambles.
So listen. Okay. Here's one of the things that we're talking about is being close to the edge. Spending everything down to a $2 or a few dollars or an uncomfortable place. And I'm going to be very transparent and say that we have had these moments, okay?
Oh yeah.
We have had these moments. Or I have actually worked with people in my coaching practice where they made more than this even, and they were overdrawn by the time their next paycheck came in. And so, first of all, I just want everybody who's listening to know, like, you are not alone.
Yeah.
You are not alone.
Don't feel embarrassed by it.
No.
I think embarrassment is what keeps people from taking action.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there was a time when we grew up, we're Gen Xers. I guess I wasn't supposed to say that, but
It's okay. I got much love for my generation. It's fine.
We are.
I'm not one of the
special-
older Gen X's.
Right. You the freshman class of the Gen X. But anyway, we're a special generation of people. But I think everybody, during that generation, you're not supposed to go get counseling or see therapists. You're not supposed to talk about, certain things. And when people don't talk about things, that's what keep people stuck.
Yeah.
If you don't seek help and try and, educate yourself and really gain a better understanding, that is what can really keep you stuck wherever it is that you're at.
Yeah.
So
I'm hopeful that just in us talking about it, that we're just sort of normalizing that conversation.
Yeah.
The two things that I think are big when it comes to income, if we can break down why people might feel so stuck or their money doesn't go as far as they want or there's so much month left at the end of the money, is because of where you live. Could be pretty expensive.
Man, that plays a big factor.
And lifestyle creep, just how you're living no matter where you live. So those two, it's either one or the other or both. And we went looking at places, or we went to a city looking for where our daughter is gonna live. And her geography.
Woo. I was like, woo, this rent is high.
Her geography is about to be expensive. And for her, because she'll have roommates, it won't be as bad. But when we're looking at these numbers, I've never seen these kind of numbers for an apartment in the circles I run in. Because we Midwesterners here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that good Midwest living.
And I'm like, whoa, this is like a lot. If it were one person,
Yeah.
that's an expensive rent.
I think about just people who are maybe further along that are homeowners. I think about income tax.
Yeah.
No, property tax.
Yes.
And how if you start getting to Florida and Texas and California, which those states have, some of them don't have income tax. But when you start talking about property tax, and I listen to what they pay, $30,000 and $40,000 a year in property tax, and then you live someplace else and it's like $4,000 in property tax. That's a 10x. That's a huge difference. That's going to be a big factor in your mortgage.
Affordability of your home, where you live, you know?
Yeah, because if you have a mortgage, then you have principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and you're living in a place where taxes are 10x, that's going to definitely increase your out-of-pocket costs from a mortgage perspective. And someone who has $120,000 income in one place versus a place that has property tax that's 10x, that's going to do a couple of things. One, it can keep you out of the housing market and force you to stay into a rental market, or you're just going to be paying more for housing than someone else.
So you know what's interesting? When we moved to Arizona, that market in terms of housing was low.
Yeah.
It increased at that time. It increased while we were there. So we got into the housing market when it was low, and that helped us be able to afford our second home. Then the market went squirrely. We don't have to get into that conversation. There are other episodes for that. But it got expensive for a lot of people. And
then you had the Californians
who were coming and buying
leaving California, going to Arizona, whoever used to paying high property tax and high, housing prices. They were coming to Arizona just paying cash. Like, woo, we hit a jackpot. And
they were making it look easy, but that area changed. And not everybody can move just for a better, geography or less expensive home prices and things. It's not always easy to do, and I understand that. But it is a factor that you have to look at. And so sometimes I think we assume we can't do anything, and I will say that like this points to some clues on what we can look at. And then the other part of that is lifestyle creep. Just everything else you spending on. Like, are we trying to keep up and keep the home a certain way, or clothes, or travel, or whatever it is you're spending money on? Those kids, it can creep up a lot. And so we, for lack of a better way to put it, sometimes we act like, oh my gosh, it's just so expensive out here. And we don't think about the fact that
we're making choices along the way.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
I think about how we had cousins who were living in one part of California and they wanted to buy a bigger house. So they moved from Southern California to Northern California. Or they moved from LA out way outside the city because they couldn't afford to live in the city. And those are choices that people make all the time. But when you think about it, that's one part of it, where you live.
Yeah.
But I like how you talk about lifestyle creep, because as soon as you said that, you know what it took me back to?
What?
I went back to the cable TV days, and we were fussing about how high the cable bill. It was like cable bills. It was just going up, up. And now you got Hulu or YouTube TV and Apple TV and Paramount and Prime and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. I was like, we might as well go back to the days of cable.
We might as well put it all in one and pay $100 for all. I mean,
just
honestly.
Pay a set fee for everything versus what we are being tasked with now. It's just crazy. But I think where people get it mixed up is when we bought the home we live in now, we had made a decision at the beginning. We said, this is what our income is. We knew how much they would approve us for. And we said, no, we're going to spend less on a home and we're going to put 20% down. Because if you think about like your mortgage and things like that, you shouldn't be spending more than 25% of your income on a mortgage.
That's ideal.
That's in an ideal situation, ideal scenario. But now I know people are probably listening like, well, wait a minute,
let me do my calculation.
Running the numbers right now, like, well, hold on, what percent of?
Now, I usually say this is on your after-tax dollars. So we're not necessarily calculating it on your pre-tax money because you don't have the tax and you got to pay the taxes, right?
You don't have that money.
It's not yours. It's the government's. And even if we don't like what they're doing with it. But But it's after-tax dollars, and to be very clear, I understand New York, Chicago, LA, these are markets
California,
that is going to be hard to stick to 25%. And so the leeway typically is up to 35%. When I'm looking at people's stuff, if it's over 40%, red flag, like what's going on here, what can be done? And it's a guideline, but it shows you something. It shows you what you have made choices on. And was it, it helps you to understand, was it a responsible choice or not?
That's housing and transportation are the two things people spend the most on. Because people, I know I'm guilty. I like cars.
Okay. What are you guilty of?
I grew up in the Motor City.
It's okay to like cars.
Right. I like cars. I say I'm guilty of liking cars.
There's nothing to be guilty about.
There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not spending, 20-30% of my income on a car.
Okay, let's be very transparent here. You haven't had
I've been very blessed.
You haven't been forced to purchase a vehicle.
Correct. In a long time.
In decades now.
Man, why you make it sound like that? Like, yeah, dog.
Well, because it is a benefit of your company.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That most folks don't have unless they are in that type of industry.
Right. I do receive company vehicles, so it does make it easier for me, but I haven't been able to go out and buy the vehicles that I want.
That part too.
Because, it would be a problem.
Yes. It would be a whole different conversation.
But we would do it responsibly.
Yeah. But I honestly have always felt this way. That us not needing to have a second vehicle that we purchase on our own, however we decide to purchase it.
It put us in a good position.
It helped us to have wiggle room to be able to save more for our future. And I do believe that benefit is something that we cannot ignore. But that is a place where lots of folks will splurge. They will go outside their budget.
I deserve it.
Oh my gosh. And then, the salespeople in there.
They prey on that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they prey on that.
Yes. If you are not dogmatic and know your boundaries and very forthright with what you're going to do, you can get taken in the car lot. Okay.
Yeah, so if you're looking for a car, you should have a point of reference. It shouldn't be more than 5% of your take-home income.
And that really, for a lot of folks, it's hard to do.
Yeah, because cars, just like everything else, are very expensive. Like, we used to have a GMC Yukon, and I think about going to buy a brand new Yukon today, it's like $80,000. That is insane.
So just think about this.
That's new.
I can't even comprehend these numbers, right? So I'm just, I want to move on because I can't.
Yeah. That's why we proactively make decisions to buy used vehicles that are 1 to 2 years old, because they take major depreciation, but they have low miles. But to me, I'm like, it's still a new car.
Just for round number sake, $120,000 is $10,000 a month. 5% is $500. So if we're thinking about a 500, and I'm just saying, we don't like payments. We don't like debt. But I'm just saying.
People are like, I can't get a car for $500.
$500 a month at 5 years, which a lot of people are going 6, 7, 8 years on these cars.
84-month, loans.
Very common to be doing 84 months. But again, I get that is not in today's market, that is a vehicle that a lot of people are unwilling to do, which
because 5 years, that's what, a $30,000 vehicle?
That's just for the principal. That's not that's not interest either.
Right.
And so,
well, that's just, considering that you buy a vehicle and it's $30,000, then you got to tack on all of
the fees.
Yeah, the taxes and
interest. I'm not in la la land thinking this is easy, but I am saying that it gives you clues. The other part of this that I like to look at is 15% of your income should be going to 3 places, and 15% is it's a generous amount if we're talking about saving. If you didn't have any debt and you could save 15%, that's awesome. And that's either for emergencies or retirement or both, right? All together. And then debt reduction, right? And so when we're talking about if you get out of debt, then you can save for your future. That's the point, right? If you get out of debt, then you can save for your emergency fund.
Or if you get out of debt, you can save and you can, maybe reallocate in other parts of your life. Because, if I'm thinking like, if you're trying to save for retirement, you want to max out, your 401k, and you may not be able to do that at first until you clear off some of that debt. Because I think if somebody realistically sat and put all their numbers down and they were creating a budget and they saw the debt portion, that's going to be a large percentage of outgo. Because I remember when we had, a bunch of debt and we were paying like $450 just on a student loan.
Yes. And that was 20 years ago.
Right. And I was like, dang, $450 outgo on a student loan. And then when we factored in childcare and
cars, we had 2 car payments at one point.
All that stuff. I was like, man, God knew. God took care of us, because I was like, just thinking about it right now brings back bad memories for me. So I hope that people are encouraged by the fact that we did it, you can do it. And it may not be easy. And we said it earlier, a lot of this comes down to choices.
Yeah.
Because I know how many, like you have clients that you talk to. I'm a unofficial coach because I get people at work and people I know always asking me questions. And as soon as they open Pandora's box, I was like, I got some questions. And when I start asking the questions, they don't start liking the answers.
Right. Yes.
Because I'm like, well, why are you doing that? Or, well, you're making a choice. If you're doing this, then you're sacrificing that. And everything in life is all about choices. And choices for a short period of time can set you up to be in a position where you have a lot more leeway. And that's what I really want to encourage people is like, make choices today that align to a plan that won't, when you look at that 120,000 income, you'll be like, man, not only did I make an income that put me in the top 30%, but I eliminated that. I got rid of car payments. You're doing everything. Now you're saving, for retirement, you got emergency fund. Then that makes you feel a whole lot different.
Yeah. Yeah. What I hear you saying is be intentional.
Yes.
Not influenced.
Yes.
So intentionality means you are preparing, you are planning, you are forward focused. When you are influenced, you are reactive. You are listening to other people.
Oh, I like that.
You are listening to marketing and advertisers.
That's so good.
And we've all fallen prey to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy shopping, okay? And here recently, I'm just going to be real honest. Okay? So I'm going on this girls trip. And I have to have something specific. And I have bought, even weeks ago and here recently.
You bought a lot of stuff.
I have bought probably 6 things that, like, 4 of them already went back. Right? Like, or no, it's got to be 7 because I got 3 right now. Like 7 things. And 4 of them have gone back. Like, because I'm like, oh, how does this fit me? And I'm doing this online shopping, right? And I have been influenced. I'm not even going to lie to you. I have been influenced by people on social media. I'm like, oh, I wonder if that dress will look good on me. Maybe I should try that. Or, and I have found myself, it is super easy to fall into it, right? It's super easy. And we are going to be in the market for a vehicle. And I have, I think there's probably top 2 right now. If you and I are being honest, there's probably top 2. And we were talking to somebody, and somebody else, not you or I, was trying to influence the conversation and say, just go for the luxury vehicle, right? Like, just do it. Just live a little.
Live your best life.
Live your best life. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, what does that mean? Right? And so it
means throw caution to the wind.
And I have a real hard time with that.
Yeah.
But the point is that I'm a coach and I do this stuff all the time and I can be influenced. And so we can't.
So imagine other people out there.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
if you're not paying attention to it,
yeah,
you will not recognize the fact that that is happening to you.
I have to say this though. I have to give you credit because in preparation for your trip, you've been doing a lot of shopping.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see packages show up. I was like, I know I ain't ordered nothing.
You are exhausted looking at it.
So
I know.
I just be like at the door, package.
Some of it is just fun.
But
too.
it's okay because even in the midst of all that shopping, I know you have a threshold, and I know you are not like out buying all this high-end designer, spending a whole bunch of money. Mm-hmm. You are very economical and very judicious in how you shop. Mm-hmm. So I don't even worry about it because you'll buy all this stuff and you'll send like 75% of it back.
Most of it back.
Which I'm like, I don't even worry about it, you know?
And like you said, I'm not into the designer stuff. So a lot of times it's
But you look great.
$20, $30, $40.
Yeah, you look great all the time. But I don't even say anything because when we go shopping and I buy stuff, I buy like just a series of, I buy in spurts. I'm like, man, I need some shirts. And I'll go buy, 4 or 5 shirts. And I'm like, man, I bought 5 shirts. Why did I spend like $400?
So we have to be very intentional and planned with your shopping.
Yes.
Because it is very different than mine.
Yeah, but, I guess somebody say 5 shirts at $400.
Listen.
It's like...
What I'm saying is...
$80 shirts.
What I'm saying is $400 at one time...
Yeah, it's different than your 75, your 80, your 50.
And then half of it's going back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mine not going back.
No, right. You keep stuff. So my thing is this, is when we're not paying attention, we can get really involved in the comparison game. We can be influenced by marketing. We can fall prey to those things and it begins to add up. And that can even be, restaurants. It can be being influenced by what the other parents are doing for their kids, we run our households. Like you say this all the time. We are co-CFOs of our household, and if you look at your finances as a business, would you trust yourself to run this business?
If you were running this business, would you be looking at that balance sheet saying, the investors are going to be happy with this or our shareholders are going to be upset?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just look at things like that. Mm-hmm. I'm always thinking about it in those terms because I want the young enterprise to be profitable.
Right.
I want the shareholders to see value being returned. Mm-hmm. And I know that may sound like a silly analogy, but that's how corporate America works. Yeah. And if I take some of those principles and I apply them to my life, then I can get different outcomes because it changes how I make decisions, and I may spend differently, and I often do spend differently because I can say no to things and wait or delay because I see the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. And that's where I want people to start to really think about that. Choose the bigger picture for just sacrificing and choosing today because you're doing that on purpose.
Yeah. So what is the bigger picture? What is needful for folks in this bigger picture?
I think you've got to think about I think the future is important, like planning for retirement, but also you have to live life today. Mm-hmm. And there's a way to balance the two. Mm-hmm. Be saving for retirement, but be enjoying your life along the way. So
here's my deal with that. I agree with you. But I do think that we have to put our future at a higher priority. And so what it means is make it automatic, do it first, non-negotiable, don't touch it. So if you already have the money coming out of your paycheck going into your 401k or 403b, fantastic, awesome. If something comes up in your life, don't touch that money. Like, you are protecting that money. You are not going to use it.
No,
You're not
that is not your emergency fund.
No, it is not.
That is not your emergency fund. That's why, in addition to those things, if you're doing a Roth and you're doing emergency fund is for emergencies.
Yes.
Retirement funds are for retirement.
Yes. And here's the deal. If you're still feeling stuck, like, let's just say this $120,000, $130,000 a year, you don't have anything left and you're just like, oh my gosh, and you haven't been doing your long-term 401k investing or Roth IRA or what have you, something really needs to change.
Yeah.
Something really needs to change. And so my hope is that you look at your spending and these two bigger picture categories, right? So it is the geography where you're living, and is this contributing to, your housing costs? And then the other piece of it is the rest of your lifestyle and how you're spending your money and how is that contributing and what can be adjusted. Because $120,000 or 100, whatever it is good money. You're at the top 30%.
It's great money.
And I'm not saying, like, at this point, sometimes that might mean go get some more money. Like, you might have to do some side hustles and things like that in order to right-side it.
That's okay.
It's okay
to build some character.
It does.
If I always, I say this all the time, the proof of the desire is in the pursuit. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get out of debt sooner, faster, you want to fund a trip or something else, sometimes you got to get your hustle on. Mm-hmm. And if you go get your hustle on and get an extra seasonal job to do some of those things, to free up or free yourself from debt, mm-hmm. or pay cash for a vacation or just whatever, then that's going to be a good feeling to know that, one, I've knocked this out, or one, this is fully paid for. And it doesn't have to be forever. I think sometimes, I say this to our kids, I was like, right now is a moment in time. Mm-hmm. It is not eternity. Mm-hmm. So things are not going to be like this forever. Mm-hmm. It's only a snapshot.
Yeah.
And it's hard to sometimes see past that snapshot. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
And I also think that, like, if you are doing that longer term investing and still feeling stuck, I'm not saying stop. I think that, one, that's a sign you're doing something well, but protect it and look for some of these other signs. Like, that's a big deal. You're prioritizing what's important, but sometimes these other things are getting out of hand, and because we're not paying attention. So if we can just pay attention, that would be really helpful.
I love how one of our daughters, she just changed jobs, and she saw her 401k from her previous employer, and she was like, man, I saved this much in a short period of time. Mm-hmm. And I think that made her a believer.
Yeah.
Because she was like, hold on now. I got to stay with this, because I think she's locked in now.
And what's interesting is when you're not paying it a whole lot of attention, it's easy to forget that stuff is there, which can be a good thing.
Just let it grow.
Let it grow. Let it grow. So the other thing is sometimes we're not making room for giving and just people outside of our home that we want to bless. Yeah. And we're definitely givers. We give a lot to our church, but we also,
have organizations that we are passionate about, that we support.
And I think it forces us to change our perspective. I've had a few people that I talk to who they are really serious about helping with missions, or they really want to be a blessing to other people in some way, even beyond a tithe or giving to your local church. And if you don't have room for the things that help you to feel good about, the fact that you can help others, that's an indicator. You know what I mean?
It's so interesting you say that, because I think about times in the past when people have asked me, like, well, how are you able to be a tither or a giver and make everything else work. And I go back to that old school religion, like you can't beat God's giving. No matter how hard you try. That's what they used to say.
It is. That's a
back
song.
in the day.
You're not going to sing it back?
No, not today. No sing it today. But I think about that because once we made decisions to just stay firmly committed to tithing and being charitable, we never looked back. And we always put the first things first.
Yeah.
They say put the big rocks in first, then make everything else fit around that. And that's what we've chosen to do. We say put the big rocks in the jar first. And we said that the big rocks for us were tithing and being charitable and saving for retirement. Then it was housing. Then it was, eliminating debt. And so we put all those big rocks in. And then we started to make lifestyle choices around the big rocks.
So case in point, every single thing that you just said, and then the smaller rock was how often we were able to dine out.
Yes.
Right? So
because that became of lesser importance.
We needed food, of course.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to spend 10 times that to dine out, right? And so it fit in where it could because it was not as important as the big rocks you mentioned.
And I was laughing because we went and we dined out recently, just the two of us. And I was like, man, this is the kind of bill I like. Because it was under $30 for the two of us. And I was like, and we had just taken our daughter out to dinner with us. I was like, this bill is like double.
Yeah, more than double.
One person that we added. And it was more than double what the two of us had. Because she was she was just eating it up. Like,
she adds on extra, okay? And she don't get them cheap meals.
Right, and I'm like, get what you want, but the example was fresh in my mind.
Oh, and she always gets a drink. Not an alcoholic drink, but she always gets a pop or whatever. Don't let our other daughter come. Yeah. She will definitely get an alcoholic. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the thing.
And we getting like water.
I'm like, water, thank you.
Yeah, not because, we can't get, just, we're just trying to get our water consumption in.
You so silly. No, I don't want to pay. I'm cheap, okay? I am not interested in paying $16 for a cocktail.
Yeah.
That is the honest truth.
Yeah.
I am not going to even lie. That's real.
Yeah, I stopped ordering drinks just because I complained about them anyway. So.
Right.
I was like, I'm not a big drinker to start with, and then you're going to make it bad? Like, no.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Spending money on this, but...
And I think that...
We a unique kind of person.
I know, we are.
But these traits can rub off on you all that are watching and listening as well.
And I think that giving and then also saving for our future has helped us to really, it changes your perspective, right? It helps you to realize that there's something bigger than you.
Yeah.
And there's some time that is beyond where you are right now. You know what I'm saying?
Give God something to work with.
Yes. And it forces us to shift like the way we think about things and to be grateful, because while a lot of people are, low six figures, let's say, and they're really trying to figure out how to make things work, thank God you have what you have. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like and so we have to do the best that we can with what we have and see how far it can go without feeling like it is not enough. And so I think like restructuring how we look at it, how we view it. Oh, this is what it is. My little saying in my office, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Yeah. Boom. That's my make it worth it.
Oh, boom. I was about to ask you, so.
That's one of them. What's yours, babe? Because I think I got another one too.
I don't know. I think I said it already, but like focus on the things that matter most first, because don't be influenced and let lifestyle creep get you off onto the fringes, because I think that's why people end up using credit cards to bridge the gap and to, augment or, satisfy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And so if you focus on the big things first and put those, there's that analogy, it's an empty jar, put the big rocks in first. And those are the things that matter most. Then put the pebbles in. Those are the things that matter next. And then, put sand in. You can fit that in the cracks and, just go down the list and the hierarchy of needs. And ultimately you pouring the water in and you fill the jar up. Mm-hmm. And pouring the water in might be, dining out, because that is the least important thing. Mm-hmm. Even though sometimes you need to go and have fun. And I like dining out just because it removes distractions. Mm-hmm. And we can sit there and we can have conversation. We can have a meal. We always try different things. And so that's the one thing I like about dining out. But that's my make it worth it. Focus on the things that matter most first, and then build your life and lifestyle around those things.
So this isn't necessarily a make it worth it as much as it is a to-do item.
Oh, okay.
I think people need to look at their spending to see if there are categories that might be out of whack.
Okay.
See where their lifestyle creep could be, or see if their housing, like their, geography is affecting their numbers.
That'll identify where you need to focus on.
Exactly.
What you need to, yeah.
And that's it, because then I think the more information that you have, there you go. The more information that you have, the more informed decisions you can make about what you do next. And so, stretch those dollars, no matter how big they are.
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Mic drop, pin drop.
Let's go.
So we hope you got something out of this today, and take these things to heart, apply them to your life, and keep tuning in, keep pressing like and subscribe. And until next time,
we're out.
We're out.
Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on ForBetterAndWorth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.